It's always a pleasure to serve you breakfast. The Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Dr. Emmanuel Lama Kofi-Boa, who is also MP for Elembele constituency, has been speaking on the revocation of licenses after the 7th of December 2024. What has he been saying? Listen to him.
The current licensing regime is fraught with so many problems. So we are establishing with immediate effect a technical small-scale mining review committee to review all existing small-scale mining licenses. With reps from the following agencies: the Minerals Commission, the Environmental Protection Agency, the Water Resource Commission, Forestry Commission, and the Attorney General's Office. The committee is to be chaired by the Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. The committee is to audit all licenses to ensure that they are properly acquired, that they meet all conditions of continuous validity. They are also to ensure permitting fees and all those requirements by all the agencies, EPA, Minerals Commission, Water Resource Commission, that all those processes required have been met. The committee will have 2 months to carry out this very important assignment. All licensees are expected to cooperate and subject their documentation to this exercise within this period. All who fail to go through this process of verification will consider their licenses revoked at the end of the process. Both the Ministries of Lands, Environment, Science and Technology are working together to establish a new classification of small-scale licenses. You will see that we have people that have gone past small-scale licenses. Yet, because we don't have a classification of medium-scale licenses, all they have to do is continue acquiring licenses. And if you put their area of operation, it's more than a large scale. So we want to really create the opportunity for a medium scale as well.
Speaking in Parliament on Wednesday.
Check
it out, y'all.
3FM Sunrise.
The best in the morning is on 92.7. Sunrise on 3FM.
And that was the Minister for the Sector, Dr. Emmanuel Lama Kofi-Boa. I'll share with you some detail beginning from 2019, sorry. The number of licenses that were issued. In 2009, there were 3 licenses issued. In 2010, there were 3 licenses issued. In 2011, there were 4 licenses issued. In 2012, why am I saying 2012? 2012, there were 7 licenses issued. In 2013, there were 5 licenses issued. In 2014, 7 licenses were issued. In 2015, 4 licenses were issued. In 2016, 23 were issued. That's a total of 56 under the Mills Mahama administration. Then we come to 2017. There were 5 licenses that were issued in 2017. In 2018, there were 16 licenses that were introduced. 2019, there were 84 licenses introduced. 2020, there were 780 licenses that were issued. In 2021, there were 43 licenses that were issued. 2022, there were 185 licenses that were issued. And then in 2023, there were 240 licenses that were issued. 2024, so far as we know, is 150 licenses, totaling 1,503. Now let's do the calculation. 1,503 under President Akufo-Addo Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, compared to what we had 56 under John Mahama and Professor Jonathan Mills. Are you breathing? I breathe well. 56 against 1,000 plus. I break down the mining licenses issued from 13 December to the 25th of February. Total licenses issued were 397, an average of 5 in a day. 5 in a day. Every day, 5 people get licensed to say, go and mine. Say again.
How come you didn't get one?
As a go and mine. No, I'm not a miner. As a go and mine.
Why are you talking like that, by the way?
As a go and mine. Go and mine. The sponsored mining license is 55, mining leases 8, and then the support services licenses class A, B, and C 334.
So the classes within the mining,
yeah,
I think it has to do with equipment, right?
Exactly.
And to what extent you can go.
Yeah, and the strength of your whole gamut.
Yeah.
Total forest reserves in Ghana are 288. In Ghana, if you are looking for forest reserves, there are 288 of those forest reserves.
Yeah.
How many have been mined into? Total forest reserves invaded by illegal miners, 44.
That's a lot. Out of 200 and can we have that number again?
288.
288. So you've done. So it's left with 244.
We're just looking at numbers then.
Yeah.
Are we looking at the impact?
Size?
Right. Now, total forest reserves invaded by illegal miners are 44 out of the 288. You may see it as insignificant, but it affects the quality of water and the food that you're eating.
But it's amazing that if with just 44, quote unquote, in case you're talking just based on numerical basis,
right,
you have our water bodies as polluted as they are, then imagine if we get to half.
Sunrise on 3
Nobody can survive.
That's why some boys and many men shall die. Now, there are nine of them total forest reserves that are taken over by illegal miners. 9 taken over. So they don't care about processes and systems and whatever it is. They are just digging.
And I can tell you that if you catch them or you meet them doing it, and you try to behave like you want the right thing to be done, they can kill you. And I'm not exaggerating this because I've been to some places just on the roadside, huge, machinery, the land, they were just on it. And they've got people standing and sitting just in open spaces so that they can see the cars that are coming from afar.
Right.
And before you get there, they are asking questions as to who you are, what you're doing there, and they've got weapons.
Look, I'm telling you,
it's not a joke.
I'm telling you that in this our fight against Galamsey, or so-called fight against Galamsey, let me put it that way, we declare the persons who have been arrested. We don't go for their financiers. We don't say who imported the excavators and who did not involve.
Who processed the equipment, and for which purpose and to where.
We don't talk about guns. We don't talk about minerals. We don't talk about cash. We don't talk about lights. We don't talk about generators. We only talk about the low lives, for want of a better expression, that have been arrested. And that's it.
Yeah.
Total land size destroyed by Galamsey. That's 5,100 hectares. That's 7,500 football fields.
That's huge.
Yeah. Destroyed by Galamsey. Some forest reserves under siege: Tano, Nimri Forest Reserve, Tano, Anya Forest Reserve, Etiwa Forest, our favorite Etiwa Forest.
Etiwa is actually gone, huh? Both, I think there's Etiwa East and Etiwa West. Both of them, they are gone.
That's Abner Seasari's area.
Yes, Abner, and then another
former roads minister.
Yes, but there's also another lady there in one of the two.
No, I'm saying that under what we have now is a report from the previous administration. Abner Seasari.
Yeah.
And the former roads minister, Kwesi
Amakwata.
They supervise this. Literally. Environmental and natural resources, they are calling for a ban on new mining activities in the forest reserve. That's what Gob3 has done.
Yes, we talked about it this morning. In fact,
beyond the 7th of December, it says all mining leases.
I think that's why Arocha Ghana, the deputy director, has been speaking a lot. Darobosu, saying that the CEO of the Minerals Commission should be relieved of his position as well, because within that period he gave out so many licenses to people to just go and mine.
There's also a rollout of the Tree for Life and Blue Water initiative to transform degraded areas into economic and ecological recovery hubs. I hope that the trees they are planting can actually extract the mercury cyanide from the soil.
Is there a scientific research that shows that there are trees that can do that?
Can do that, yeah. The scientists always say that.
And then what happens to those trees? They just contain them. You don't have to pull them out.
No.
Okay.
Arocha Ghana is joining us on the phone line. Darrell Bosu is the deputy director of Arocha Ghana. Darrell, good morning.
Johnny, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm greater than Accra. You talk to me. Now, first, let me begin with this conversation about the minister banning all, licenses that were issued beyond 7th of December. Is he making the right choice?
Thank you, Johnny. I think to respond to that question, we need to listen to the justification the ministry has given. And I believe that they have information that we all don't. And they are saying that due to some procedural irregularities and from their own assessment, a lot of these permits were rushed through. And you know how these things go. During the transition, when one government is voted, a new one is coming, this tends to happen. So if they have done their audit and assessment and been able to determine that, look, this is why these licenses must be revoked, and we are in complete support. We have already been very worried about how licenses have been given out so easily and so freely, sometimes without due diligence and all of that. And I want to trust that the ministry has done its work, because to come and say this, it also has implications. Still, some people are likely to sue, and others might decide not to based on how they got their license. So we believe that it is in the right direction. Now, that said, I think that we need to broaden the net and not only focus on small-scale mining licenses. There are certain large-scale mining companies also who are giving permits to mine in our forest reserves. And if we go to refer to the Fourth SA Forest Invasion Investigative Report, that talks about how the government then gave out mining licenses to their cronies and people, the family members and all of that, then there is more attention that needs to be paid to that aspect as well. And it's an area that so far they are very quiet on, but I want to avert their minds to that, and I think that it is important. So we fully support this action, and I think that we need to broaden it and ensure that we can do a complete audit. And I think they have also communicated that they want to do that. So we want to see how soon that can be done, and then we can move forward and really scrutinizing the licensing regime. But Johnny, the other matter that comes to mind when you're talking about revocation of small-scale mining.
Right.
If we have found that some licenses are not fit for purpose and therefore need to be revoked. Now the question is, who issued those licenses?
Yeah.
Why is the person who issued those licenses still at post? Somehow the ministry is quiet. And I'm really looking forward to the coming weeks, how the ministry is going to move forward with the supervisor of the revoked licenses still at post. And that is why we have said some weeks back that, look, it is not tenable that the current chief executive of the Minerals Commission continues to stay in office, because a lot of the mess we have, issuing licenses without the necessary due diligence, some of which is evidenced by the revocation of these small licenses, is a testament that there's something wrong. And we cannot allow that leadership to continue if the government is really serious about resetting our environment and reforming the licensing regime and the minerals governance in this country. I think we need to look at that particular sector very, very critically.
Now, again, there's the Tree for Life and Blue Water initiative that the ministry has announced. Are there trees that can really, really help us out of the degradation that we have plunged ourselves into?
Johnny, I have to say, look, the government's plans for Trees for Life, which is geared towards restoring our environment, restoring our forest reserve, it's planting more trees. It's for us very laudable. we need as a country to go towards a pathway where we continue to grow our forests, even both on reserve and off reserve. So any initiative that government is going to do that would make sure that happens is very important. Usually the problem has been the implementation. We had a very similar problem with the Green Ghana agenda by the previous administration, and we don't want to see this become one of such a program. So we want to see the Tree for Life really become integral to everything that we do. My only concern, maybe right now, I will say that I have not seen anything untoward yet, but there's always a risk that it becomes politicized and they start using it to give jobs to the boys, and really people don't do very technical work that leads to restoration of our land. You know, we need to restore our degraded mine sites. We need to restore all those 47 or 49 forest reserves that have been completely destroyed by Galamsey. So there's really a need to do very serious nationally led restoration activity. If Tree for Life is going to do that, then I think that we welcome it. So far, we have not seen any clear policy framework on it, how they are going to roll it out, what exactly is going to go into the details. I think we want to wait and see. But if they are going to launch it on International Forest Day, it's a good initiative, and we are going to rally behind it and wait also to get to see more details as the policy rolls out. But now, let's talk about the Blue Water Initiative.
Right.
It's also coming on the back of the fact that the government is recognizing the devastation that has been meted out to our rivers. They are so polluted now that you can't even take a drink out of them. So there's a need as a country to restore our rivers and make it wholesome for consumption and for agricultural purposes. So the Blue Water Initiative, as envisaged by the government, is also very laudable, and we support it all the way. But, I mean, we are already tending to worry because we've heard that, look, they've now launched some river guards and who are going to serve as whistleblowers to provide information to the police on where illegal mining is happening. That, for us, we see, is very ineffective use of our resources.
Right.
Look, when it comes to reporting on what is happening in communities, or what is happening in our forests there, what is happening in our rivers, Johnny, you can't imagine how many calls I get in a day from community members telling us about people who are going to do illegal activities in our forest reserve. You can't imagine. So the communities really have a commitment to report. They don't even need to be paid to do that. They have a sense of nationality, a sense of patriotism. When they see illegal activity happening, they already completely offer themselves to report on these things. This is done by the unit committee persons, by the assembly persons, and many youth groups and women's groups in these communities. All they need to know is you sensitize and make them aware that, look, these activities destroy your forests and water bodies, and they report to you when they see something happening. The only missing link in all of this is having police on readiness and on standby to provide swift response. So if we have any resources, we believe that we need to channel it towards supporting the law enforcement agencies. The Forestry Commission, they have capacity to protect our forest reserve.
Right.
They have a rapid response team that is not sufficiently resourced.
Right.
They don't have vehicles to move around, logistics. All of this is missing. So why spend money on a whistleblower system that the community people are already doing for free? And that's the only issue we have with the Blue Water Initiative now. I know it's a bigger program, but introducing very, I would say, ineffective strategies like this will tend to water down what the whole initiative was fit to do.
There's also the conversation about alternative jobs for the young people who are stuck or locked up in perpetuity in their minds regarding Galamsey. How should we progress as a nation or proceed as a nation if we want to take them off the pits and then put them in recognizable jobs?
The question about the issue about jobs, livelihood, is a very complex issue. But the way we see it, we think that as a country, we need to decouple the illegal mining activity from the issue of jobs. Yes, we've been made to know or believe that people are in the pits because of livelihood. But we all know a lot of the people who are in the pits is not because of what they will eat today or tomorrow. It's more because of some extra grandeur living condition that they want to promote, and not really because of the livelihood or sustenance issue. So we need to decouple the issue and deal, first of all, with the illegality. We recognize that, yes, people also must eat and all of that. But that has been the narrative that has actually supported the Galamsey and actually giving people the impunity to continue what they are doing. But going forward, we need to separate it. We need to have a system that deals very swiftly, decisively, and brutally with people engaging in illegalities, and that has to do with mining, and then really have another strategy which can be rolled out at the district level. Because, Johnny, there is no way you can give somebody who has been working in the pits for a month or even a week a job that will commensurate the kind of income they make. So there has to be some very new reorientation. There has to be some new organization set up to really do this. And I'm not saying set up new institutions. We already have the setup already. The YEA, the youth employment, all of that. It's there. We even have green jobs policy and all of that. It's all there. We need to go back to these documents and start letting our decentralized local government authorities work at that grassroots level and gradually wean people off. Because, see, we cannot really say, look, you are doing mining, we are going to give you a job. You can't ask somebody doing mining to come and do grass cutter rearing. You can't ask them, even if you guys just go and learn some artisanal work of dressmaking or other things, they don't even want to do it. So we need to break that chain of thinking that, look, this is the only way I can make money. Illegality can never be a way to sustainably develop a nation. So if an illegal activity is what is driving and making even the state benefit, then we need to stop it. And so I think that it can be done, but we need to let people know that the two are not connected.
That's
and the state will not tolerate people engaging in illegality for the purposes of supposedly living good or getting a livelihood. That should not be counted.
There's the call for the declaration of a state of emergency where all forms of mining will be banned. What do you have to say about that?
I think this call for declaration of state of emergency has been a demand from last year, very strong demand, and we fully support that. We have actually, as members of the Ghana Coalition Against Galamsey, rallied behind and supported this particular demand. It is very unfortunate that previous administration and even the current administration has not taken this demand very seriously. I think people have misconstrued what we've been asking, and people have...
You have just 1 minute remaining.
Sorry about that. Sorry.
Boy, and your wife didn't say what gravy we are see a braboso yamin can't one. Musika would be able to charge us to a baby I see now and I'm quite one. When you want your fat to rent him what to when I'm daddy, one champagne. I would have kicked him pabo. I don't think you're a pony and chat now if you're Safwa. One of my wire in the home from Mexico. Would you be? I wouldn't be a better one.
I was a Rocha Ghana. Darabosu.
Yeah, I'm fair free swam and wow. What the
I don't know what's running through your mind. This Galamsey conversation. What do you think? Are we going about it the right way, or are we just playing some hanky panky, Mickey Mouse, Tom and Jerry kind of vibe? I don't know. I'm asking you. You tell me. What is it? How are we going about it? You want to talk, eh? You want to talk. So I should activate the phone lines for you to talk. You want to talk, eh? Oh, no, I didn't hear. Did you say you want to talk? No, I want to hear you. Say it louder. Do you want to talk? Do you have views about Galamsey? How we should stop it, or we can stop it? I want to understand you.
But can't predict your death when you're gone. That's right, legacy is
Best in the morning is on 92.7 Sunrise on 3FM.
You let me finish my conversation with Daryl, and then we'll come back to you. Daryl, welcome back.
Yes, thank you very much.
This state of emergency thing, is it an overkill, or is it what we need actually to fix this problem?
Johnny, I think, yes, anytime people say the demand for the state of emergency is an overkill, we really don't agree. because, see, several countries have had to really execute the state of emergency so that they can have a grip on something like this illegal mining that has gotten out of hand. Many countries have done it. And so we also think that, look, if you look at the impunity, we were at a point in the last year where politically connected people, party people, everybody was in the Galamsey, and there was no way we were going to tell them off. And we thought that really implementing a state of emergency was going to be the best way for everybody to get the message that, look, don't joke with our forest reserves and our rivers. So for us, it was right, and it's very unfortunate that a lot of people in government in the previous administration and now don't see the sense of why this is very, very critical. Now, the Honorable Minister for Lands has indicated, look, a lot of our forest reserves are now under siege from illegal miners. 49 of them seriously impacted, 9 of them practically no more under the management of the Forestry Commission staff because these people who are running mining activities there are protected by armed gangs. I mean, he tells us that they've been able to take possession of 7 of them, but we don't have a very clear information as to which of the forest reserves he's talking about. When also the information out there is that, look, a lot of the forest reserves are still in the same state. So I think that we need to issue this state of emergency purposely targeting our forest reserves and our rivers. Then we get every state enforcement agency involved in the process. We have been very disappointed by the way the police in particular, who live with us in the various communities, at district level, at regional level, that have failed to see all the illegalities, but don't miss out on really being on the highway or even arresting somebody who is supposed to have gone to steal a plantain. I'm not saying stealing plantain is good, but I think there's something missing. When we effect the state of emergency, you get all of these institutions on the alert. And even if you look at the issue of the river gas and why we thought that it was important to bring the river gas system, you are saying that, look, the people are not giving information. People are giving information, but we know that the problem is not about the information that is not coming. It's rather about the response that is not being delivered to react to the feedback that is coming from the community. So the state of emergency will come to really fill that gap and give us an opportunity within a short time to decisively get to the ground and get everybody out, flag the system, and then reset as we've committed to do.
Now, Darryl, the people of the Republic of Ghana, if you ask the people who work at Ghana Water Company, they are literally frustrated. They say, look, this Galamsey thing, we're paying lip service to it, and it's hurting our production of water. The people can get good water to drink. Everybody seems to be sitting on the tenterhooks. We've seen a few ministers going left, right, center. But is that what we really need in terms of the public show? Or we need to really get down on it and get it done? What do we have to do? Tell us.
Johnny, I think you just said it. You see, there's a lot of talk about Galamsey, fighting Galamsey. I mean, this government took office, they've been talking also about Galamsey. I recall when the previous administration also took office in 2017, they said a lot of good things about fighting Galamsey. At the end of the day, we saw the worst record ever in dealing with Galamsey. And I don't want us to get to a point where this government is saying all the good things they have to say. But really, when it comes to delivering, they don't deliver. And that is why measures like effecting a state of emergency can give you that quick action. You go to the ground, flush the system out, and you leave a strong deterrent message. And nobody will dare go against it. So, I mean, when you talk about the water bodies being polluted, it affects our pocket. First of all, it affects the supply of water services to our homes and even for other businesses. So it is really, really important. Some countries don't joke with their river systems at all. And unfortunately, in Ghana, we've sat down and for over 10 years allowed the onslaught and destruction of our rivers to continue to a point that now if you drink water from any river in this country, you might as well be preparing for some other future health risk. And this is, for me, not acceptable. So if the state prioritizes our health, then they need to take steps to ensure everything that goes into our body wherever their particular goods or services comes from, it is protected completely and given maximum security. We are not doing that. So I agree with you that, look, the government needs to get to the ground. The talk is good, but we must see more action. I mean, I'm not saying that let's go back to Vanguard and Operation Halt and all of that, but I think the strategies can be really ramped up. I have not seen the strategy being ramped up at the decentralized local government level, where the DCs are giving some ultimatum, the police command are giving ultimatum, and all of these people are sitting on tentacles and they are really demanded to act or they leave office. I think there needs to be some accountability. There needs to be some responsibility on the part of state agencies who are in some of these positions, because it doesn't make sense that the police is there, the DC is there, assembly persons are there, and Galamsey is going on destroying rivers. Now, Johnny, if I tell you what is happening around the eastern region, Denshu is now finally polluted. We've done what we could, but we wouldn't even get the support of the police to really keep off the illegal miners from these areas. So it's a tough thing, and I think that this is why the call for a state of emergency is very, very important.
Thank you. I'm grateful for your time, Daryl Boso. Always a pleasure to spend my mornings with you. You're a great guy. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Johnny. Have a nice day.
You too, my brother. That's Daryl Boso, Deputy Director of Rocho Ghana, joining us here. Because of illegal mining, a lot of people will die. Many men shall die because of the greed of a few people. Can you imagine?
Many men shall die because of the best in the morning is on 92.7 Sunrise on 3FM.
Because of the greedy of another man, yeah. Nations, many men shall die because of the greedy.
Ghana, it's time to globalize. Gob3 Nation and Gob3 Eaters Association, it's time to assemble. Get ready for Ghana's ultimate beans-based food festival, 3FM Gob3 Festival 2025. This year on the 22nd of March at Lagos City Mall, we're on a mission to celebrate all things beans from your favorite vendors. Come and immerse yourself in an electrifying atmosphere filled with great food, refreshing drinks, live band music, fun games, jama sessions, crown our king and queen of Gob3, and find out who wins Gob3thon amongst many activities. 3FM Gob3 Festival on the 22nd of March at Lagos City Mall from 10 a.m. If you're an interested vendor or sponsor, please call 0531 100 927 or 0532 200 927 right now. Let's get Gobalicious on the 22nd of March and make history at 3FM's Gob3 Festival at Lagos